या देवी स्तूयते नित्यं विबुधैर्वेदपारगैः सा मे वसज्जिह्वाग्रे ब्रह्मरूपा सरस्वती। नमामि नारायणपादपङ्कजं करोमि नारायणपूजनं सदा वदामि नारायणनामनिर्मलं स्मरामि नारायण तत्त्वमव्ययम्. Invoking the grace of Goddess Saraswati, Guru Arapan, Mahaperiyava and Guru Parampara, we are now entering into verse number 7 of Dasakam number 12. We'll read the verse first. Urdhva prasari paridhumbra vidhuta roma prokshipta valadhiravang mukha gora ghonaha turna pradhirna jhalata parigurna dakshna stotrun munin shishirayan avaterithatvam. Urdhva prasari paridhumbra vidhuta roma prokshipta vala dhiravang mukha ghora ghonaha turna pradhirna jalata parigurna dakshna stotrun munin shishirayan avaterithatvam. We'll go into the way of this. Urdhva prasari paridhumbra vidhuta roma prokshipta valadhi avangmukha ghora ghonaha turna pradhirna jaladaha tvam parigurna dakshna stotrun munin shishirayan avateritha. This is how the order goes. Urdhva prasari paridhumbra vidhuta roma can be split like urdhvam prasarini paridhumbrani vidhutani romani yasya saha. Romani means hair, with hair of dark red color. The word is dhumbrani, like cloud. Paridhumbrani means dark. You can say dark red, black also. Which was standing erect. Urdhvam. Urdhvam prasarini. Prasarini means shaking. Standing erect and shaking. So with hair of dark red color or dark red and black color, which was standing erect and shaking. Prokshipta valadihi. Valadi means the hairy tail is called valadihi. With the tail lifted up. Prokshipta. Avang mukha ghora ghonaha. Ghona means the snout. Ghora, fierce. With the fierce snout, avang mukha means pointing downwards. Turna pradhirna jalataha. Jalataha means clouds. Pradhirna means breaking through the clouds. Turna with ease, effortlessly means. Tvam, thou, paridhurna daksha means paridhurnata akshna. It has to be split like that. Akshna means with eyes. Parigurnata. Paridhurnata means rolling. It is not dhurnata, parigurnata, sorry. Parigurnata means eyes which are rolling. Gurnata, rolling. Stotrun munin, the praising sages. Shishirayan, delighting or giving happiness. Avateritha. Itha means down. Avate means jumping down. Avateritha, did jump down. So the literal meaning will be, thou didst jump down, delighting the sages who were praising thee, breaking or penetrating through the clouds with ease, thy hair of dark red color, standing erect and shaking, thy tail lifted up, thy fierce snout pointing downwards, and thy eyes rolling. Very fierce description of this contained in the verse. Before that, as a side note, I would like to mention in verse number 5, Another name is given for the boar also called kitihi, asau kitihi. I didn't explain the meaning there. Kitty bird, the root etymologically when you say, it comes from the kit. Kit means the dirt, or secretion is called kit. So kitihi. Boar, as you may know, it moves on in the where the dirt is there. So it moves in the water which is dirty, and therefore another name given for the boar is also kitihi, asau kitihi. So that's how the word kitihi comes. So we have got 4 names: Sukara, Varaha, Kola and Kiti, just for information. Now we are in this verse 7. The extraordinary form of the Lord and his actions are depicted here, which is in a more fierce manner, which is equal as a retaliation to Hiranyakshasura. And Hiranyakshasura was depicting the absolute hatred to Lord, so Lord also retaliated in this manner. How he retaliated? Penetrated through the clouds effortlessly with ease. Hairs which were dark red or black color or smoke-like hue, then standing erect or facing upwards. These hairs were facing upwards. Vidhutani, as shaking. Tail also lifted up. Prokshipta valadihi. Powerful or fierce snout downwards. Ghora gonaha. And avangmukha there. And eyes rolling. Parighurna dakshnaha. So all these efforts, the Lord was showing his anger towards Hiranyaksha in this manner by making an avatar in a fierceful manner. So the Lord jumped or delved into the waters. It is said avatarita. So here it is presented as avatara. This avatara of this Lord is presented in a very picturesque manner in this. However, this did not frighten the sages. On the contrary, they were pleased or delighted, as they could discover the intention of the Paramatma Lord to redeem the earth from the clutches of Hiranyaksha. Therefore, this whole avatara was like a leela of the Lord. In Upanishad, the word used is Anuraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. The Brahman or the Paramatman is described as smaller than the smaller and greater than the greater. And we could see that depiction of that Paramatman in this Varahavatara, because he came from the Brahma's nostril as an infant boar, Shishu Kola Rupi, and now assumed a very gigantic form to redeem the earth and release Hiranyaksha from his curse. So this avatar of infant boar, from Shishu Kola Rupi to Gora Varaha Rupi. That's how we saw in this earth. More descriptive. In continuation, now we are going to verse number 8. Antarjalam tadanu samkula nakrachakram brahmyat tibingalakulam kalushor bhimalam avishya bhishana ravena rasatalasta akampayan vasumatim agaveshayastvam. Sorry, I'll read once more. Antarjalam tadanu samkula nakrachakram brahmyattimingila kulam kalishor bhimalam avishya bhishana ravena rasatalastan akampayan vasumatim agaveshayastvam. And splitting wherever possible so that we can get the idea of the verse. The whole 2 words are also showing the fierce avatar. The words are also very difficult to pronounce. The Sanskrit is presented in a more difficult manner. But there is Leela again. The words show the intention of the Lord. We will go into the Anvaya. Tadanu Sankulanakra Chakram Brahmyat Timingala Kulam Kalushor Mimalam Antarjalam Avishya Bhishana Rabena Rasatalastan Akampayan Tvam Vasumatim Agabeshayaha. The meaning is, entering the interior of the waters, in which crocodiles were moving about and whales were whirling around, and in which, I am not given the meaning of the words, sorry, I will go into the meaning. Tadanu means then, Sankula Nakra Chakram, with crocodiles moving about, Brahmyat Timingala Kulam, Timingala means whales, with whales Brahmyat whirling around. The Kulam it is mentioned, so it's a cluster of whales, Timingala Kulam. Kalushormi Malam, Kalushaha Urmihi means the waves which are Kalushaha, turbulent. Urmi Malam means again cluster of waves. Kalushormi Malam. Antarjalam means the interior of the waters. Avishya means Pravisya, entering. Bhishana Ravena, with a frightening roar. Bhishana means frightening. Ravena means Rava means roar. Rasatalastan means the inhabitants of the Rasatala. We could include here the entire Nidra region also, below all the 6 lokas down, starting from Atala and ending up to Patala. You could compare here. Akampayan, shaking. Tvam, thou. Vasumatim, the earth. Agaveshayaha, did search for. Entering the interior of the waters, in which crocodiles were moving about and whales were whirling around, and in which there were turbulent waves, and shaking the inhabitants of the nether regions with a frightening roar, thou did search for the earth. This verse is a continuation of the earlier verse, where now the Lord is entering deeper into the water. It's mentioned here, waves were turbulent and crocodiles and whales were moving around, shaking with fear. The whole background is one of fear, as it was, because the Lord is penetrating into that. Varaha is penetrating into the water to look for the earth. Roar was also frightening, Bhishana. The nether region, the Rasatalastan is mentioned, inhabitants of the Rasatala also were shaking, were shaking when the Lord was giving the frightening roar. Here the word used is Rasatalastan, but we could also include here all the 6 talas. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala and Patala. If you remember in the Dasaka 6, when you mentioned the universe as the form of the Lord itself, the entire cosmos is the form of the Lord itself, it was mentioned that the Atala Vitala represents the thigh and the Sutala represents the knee of the Lord, and Talatala is the shank between the knee and the ankles. Rasatala and Patala becomes the upper and the lower feet of the Lord. So Sutala is the knees, Talatala is the shank. Now, here we are seeing that upper and lower feet is mentioned as Rasatala and Patala. So the Hiranyaksha has hidden the earth in Patala, and therefore the Lord has penetrated up to Rasatala. Because Rasatala, when you say upper and lower feet of the Lord, means what? The down comes Patala. Patala, Rasatala, Talatala, that's how it goes. Then Atala, Vitala, Sutala. That's how it goes from down if you see. Lower feet, upper feet, the shanks, then the knees and thighs in the form of the Lord. Same way the regions are also there. So he has hidden in the Rasatalastan, Rasatalanta, which is going to mention in the next verse. So he has hidden the earth at the end of the Rasatala, means in the Patala. So the Lord was going up to the Rasatala. Because from there, when he moves out, he will be able to see. That's why it's mentioned here, Rasatalastan. So we can also see the movement of the Lord in the nether regions to depict the thing. Search Agabesha for Vasumati in the earth, for the earth. Vasumati is called the earth. So the Lord has gone up to the lower part and to redeem the earth. Verse 9, number 9, it is going, the verse will contain a further description mentioning how the Lord lifted the earth. We'll continue the next session. Bhave bhave yada bhakti padayostava jayade tada kurusha devesa natastam noita prabhu nama sankirtan yasya sarva vaba pranasanam pranamo dukkha samanaha tam namami harim param. Narayana akila guru bhagwan namaste. Hari Om. Ya devi stuyade nityam vibudhair veda paragaihi Same vasatu jikhvagre brahmarupa saraswati. Namami Narayana padabangajam karovi Narayana pujanam sada vadhami Narayana namadharmalam smarami Narayana tattvam abhyayam. Invoking the grace of God Saraswati, Guru Vairappan, Guru Parampara, Mahaperiva and other Guru Parampara, we are now entering into verse number 9 of Dasakam number 12. Prior to that, in verse number 7, I had mentioned that they with hair of dark red color, but it's actually hairs, Bahuvajanam is there. Urdhva prasari paridumbra bituta romani, which was standing erect, and hairs of dark red color, which was standing erect and shaking. In the verse it is ending as Roma, but we have to add Romani, Bahuvajanam, because of the chandas that one syllable is left out. So it is Bahuvajanam, not singular. Just please make a note of it. With hairs of dark red color, which were standing erect and shaking. Now we are moving on to the verse number 9. Drishtva daityahata kena rasatalante sambeshitam jatiti kuta kitir vibhotvam apatukan viganaya surari khetan damstrang kurena vasudha madadha salilam drishtva daitya hatakena rasatalam te sambeshitam jhatiti kutakitir vibhotvam apatu kana viganaya surari khetan damstrang kurena vasudha madadha salilam. And we are like this, Vibho or Hey Vibho, Kuta Kitihi Tvam. Ata Daitya Hatakena Rasatalamte Sambeshitam Vasudham Drishtva Apatukan Surari Khetan Abhiganaya Salilam Dramstram Kurena Adadhaha. We'll go into the meaning. Vibho or Hey Vibho, O Lord. Kuta Kitihi Tvam. Thou who had assumed the form of a boar by thy Maya. Ata then, Daitya Hatakena, by that despicable Asura, Rasatalamte, at the bottom of Rasatala, Sambeshitam, which was placed, Vasudham, the earth, Drishtva, seeing, Apatukan, who were rushing, Surari Khetan, the wretched Asuras, Abhiganaya, treating with disdain, Salilam, as if in sport, Damstram Kurena, with the tip of thy tusk, Adadaha, did lift up. The meaning will be, Hey Vibho, O Lord, who is Vibho, of course, thou who had assumed the form of a boar by thy Maya, seeing the earth placed at the bottom of Rasatala by the despicable Asura, did lift it up with the tip of thy tusk, as if in sport, treating with disdain or nonchalance, we can say, the wretched Asuras who were rushing towards thee. This is the meaning of the verse. In this verse, the Lord is addressed as Vibho, Hey Vibho. Again, it's a very important nama, which is coming also in the Vishnu Sahasranama, 240th name and 88th name. In both it is coming. It's a very significant name, so I thought we'll go through the meaning given by Shankara in the Vishnu Sahasranama for this Vibhu. Vibhuhu. He Vibhu is Sambodhana. Vibhu is Pratama Ekavajanam. The meaning is, as I mentioned, Shankara has mentioned, Hiranya Garbhadi Rupena Vibidham Bhavatiti Vibhuhu. Vividha means many and varied. So Lord Vishnu is Vibhu because Vividham Bhavati. That's how the Vibhu is, Vitpati is. He is manifest in a variety of forms. In the creation we have varieties and varieties of living and non-living. Chala, Achala. And in each variety there are so many with mild shades of differences. Even in fact some varieties of living organisms are even extinct today. So every individual or organism that has existed in all these ages and exists now does not have the same genetic code that you have or we have. Each finger is different, and our thumb print and earlobe, thumb print and earlobe are unique and different from what others have. So this is a very uniqueness of the variety. There is no repetition anywhere. In Dakshinamurti Stotra says, Jagadidam Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana Vaichitra Chitri Kridam. This world is made in a wondrous way with countless permutations and combinations of place, time, so on. So the Lord as the Sat and Chit is the basis, the invariable in and through all the varieties of the Namarupas. Namarupas represent the Maya and Lord is here the Nirguna Brahman. Therefore he is the Vibhu manifesting as the many, even as Hiranyagarbha and other Devatas. Vibhu therefore means all pervasive Purna. The Mundaka Upanishad talks of him as Nityam Vibhum. This is how the explanation is 240. When we go into verse number and the Nama 880, where the word Vibhu is used, we will see the meaning like this. Same thing. Sarvatra Vartamanatvat Trayanam Lokanam Vibhutvadha Vibhuhu. Bhagavan is Vibhu because Vibhidam Bhavati here again is mentioned here. He is manifest in manifold ways as varieties of things and beings. He is in and through everything and also the Lord of all the worlds. His manifestation is not stereotyped. The whole universe with its varieties of flora and fauna, plant and animals, is an amazing blessing. So this is how the word Vibhu is described, is explained here in the Vishnu Sahasranama also. In this context, the word Vibhu is very striking because the Lord, He is everything. The entire creation is a variety. So Vividam Bhavati Vibhu, such a Lord is going to rescue the earth from the clutches of Hiranyaksha. Now it is mentioned here, it is by his Maya, a very important word. It is Bhagavan's Maya. The Sukara is depicted here as the Lord lifting the earth, which is hidden in Rasatalante. Rasatalante means at the end of the Rasatala. At the end of the Rasatala comes as the Patala. To recapitulate what I have said, that the entire universe is the form of the Lord itself. So the lokas which are beyond, they could be synchronized as the two thighs as the upper and lower thighs as Sutala, Vitala, Rasatala. So they should be seen as the Rasatala means Tala, Vitala, knees represents Tala, Vitala, then Tala, Tala represents the portion between the knee and the ankles. Then Rasatala represents the upper surface. Mahatala is the ankles. Rasatala references the upper surface of the feet. And Patala is the lower surface. So Atala, Vitala, thighs, upper and lower thighs. Sutala, knees. Talatala, the portion between the knees and the ankles. Shank we call it. Talatala. Then becomes the Mahatala, the ankles. Rasatala, the upper surface of the feet. And the lower surface of the feet is the Patala. So we can here understand that Patala is the lowest portion in the world, in the nether world, the world below the Bhumi. And Bhumi is the, as we said earlier, is the Patni or the wife of Ishvara. So the Ishvara's wife, he has hidden in the lowest portion of the nether world. There is nothing, no world be lower than that. Which shows the extent of hatred which is manifested symbolically here. That's why the Lord, therefore, they lifted the earth hidden in Pathala with his tusk now. How it lifted? It said it is effortlessly. Since the Lord is Vibhu, the entire creation is his, which is his Sankalpa, and therefore it is just like a Leela of the Lord. So it appears as though that Lord was also performing an Indrajala. That's why the word is Maya is used to rescue the earth from Hiranyaksha. While passing through the various worlds, the demons in those worlds encountered the Lord, and Lord just disregarded them or just overcome them like a Trina. Word Abhiganya means indicating that disdainfully disregarding them, the Lord came down. He came down nonchalantly or with disdain, because they were like small grass. They are no match for the Lord. That's how this verse goes. Now with this we will now move on to the concluding verse of this Dasaka, Dasaka 10, verse 10 of Dasaka 12. Abhyudharannatadaram Desanagdalagna Mustang Kurankita Ivadika Pivaratma Uddhuda Gora Salila Jalade Rudanchan Krida Varaha Vapurishvara Pahirogat Abhyudharannatadaram Desanagralagna Mustang Kurankita Ivadika Pivaratma Uddhuda Gora Salila Jalade Rudanchan Krida Varaha Vapurishvara Pahirogat. Anvaya Krida Varaha Vapuhu Ata Dharam Abhyudharan Dashanagra Lagna Mustangurankitaha Iba. It's a Samasapada. Shortly like this. Dashanagre Lagnena Mustangkurena Ankitaha. And Adhika Pivaratma. I'm reading the Invaya first. Krida Varaha Bapu Ishvara Ata Dharam Abhyudharan Dashanagre Lagnena Mustangkurena Ankitaha. Adhika Pivaratma Uddhuta Gora Salila Jalatehe Panchami Udanchan Rogat Pahi. This is how the Anvaya goes. We'll go to the meaning of this. Krida Varaha Vapuhu Ishvara. Hey Ishvara, Sambodhana is here. O Lord, who did take the form of a boar in sport. Krida means sport, like as though playing. Varaha Vapuhu. Here the word Varaha is brought out here, because he is going to kill Hiranyaksha. Therefore the Varan Hanti, that aspect is to come. Therefore now he is lifting them. That is the gigantic form is brought about here. Ata, then, Dharam, the earth, Abhyudharan, lifting up, Dashanagra Lagna Mustangurankitaha Iba. Dashanagre Lagnena Mustangkurena Ankitaha Iba. As if it were a sprout of grass that are stuck to thy tusk. Mustaha is called, the kind of grass is called Mustaha. Dashanagra is the tusk, Lagnaha, means attached to the tusk. Adhika Pivaratma, with a gigantic body. Pivaraha means huge, it is called. Uddhuta Gora Salilat Jalatehe. Jalatehe means the ocean. From the ocean, whose waters had been made frightening, Gora, by being shaken violently. Uddhuta means shaken. Udanchan, emerging. Rogat Pahi, save me from disease. O Lord, who did assume the form of a boar in sport, lifting up the earth as if it was just a piece of grass that has stuck to thy tusk, thou did emerge with a gigantic form from the ocean whose waters had been shaken violently and looked frightening. O Lord, extend your grace or deign to save me from the ailments. This is how the verse concludes. Here we see the Varaha avatar, where the Lord, as gigantic, the huge form, he lifted the earth from Patala. How did he lift up? It was an effortless task. It is mentioned here, just a piece of grass that is stuck to the task. For Lord, the earth is like a uprooted grass. We have seen he is a Vibho. Therefore, everything is his Vibhuti only. So, earth is only a small portion of the creation of the universe. So, you could lift it like just an imagery is given. So, effortlessly has lifted. That's what it means. Thou did emerge with a gigantic form. So, the huge form. He emerged from the ocean, and when he emerged, the entire waters had been shaken violently and looked as though they are frightening. Hence, it should be seen that Hiranyaksha had hidden the universe, and it could be also inferred all the Antarlokas, other lokas also could be seen as Antargata or forming part of the universe, because the Srishti was coming to an end. So the limitlessness is talked about. So then say universe could be seen as Bhuloka, and Varahamurti, who is also limitless form, could be seen as the form of the limitlessness, in that Bhumi is just like a small blade of grass for the Lord. That's how we could see. And such a Lord rescued the Bhumi, brought up from above the waters, released him from the clutches of Hiranyaksha, who has hidden the Bhumi in the Patala. So, allegorical meaning also can be seen here. The Sattva Guna represented by the earth is suppressed by Rajoguna, the Asura. Hiranyaksha is represented the Rajoguna. Sattva Guna is the earth. That is who is the wife of the Lord. So, Lord represents the Sattva Guna. So, wife also is Sattva Guna. It is mentioned here, by devotion to the Lord, one gets the power to conquer Rajoguna and rescue Sattva. Because it's mentioned earlier that the boar came out from Brahma's nostril. Brahma was a devotee of the Lord. He was praying, contemplating on the Lord. So the boar which came out from Brahma's nostril, indicating that the power to conquer the Rajoguna will come from within itself if one cultivates devotion. Also it symbolically represents the picture of a sadhaka. A sadhaka like a Brahma, when he contemplates the Lord, the power, the Ishvara comes in the form of or any form, and it comes from within himself, the power. And with that he can conquer the Rajoguna. Only what is necessary, and then gain the Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna is the earth. Means the Lord who is Sattva Guna, one can have Sayujya with him only when one develops intense devotion to the Lord. And the power to overcome the Rajoguna comes from within. As we saw from Brahma, who is the devotee of the Lord, the Varaha came from Brahma's nostril. So symbolically it means that a sadhaka, one has to develop intense devotion if he has to attain Sayujya with the Lord, the Ishvara. Bhattacharya has again put up an application saying that, O Lord, such a Lord who is so mightiest, who is Varaha, who is mightier than the mightiest, who has protected the Bhumi in this manner, please kindly extend your grace and save me from all my ailments. Dasaka 12 ends in this manner. We will now go into the next Dasaka 13, where the Hiranyaksha Vada takes place. The description is given. Bhattacharya has given 2 Dasakas for explaining the Varaha Avatara and then Hiranyaksha Avatar. So that shows the importance of this avatar. We will go into the Dasaka 13 in the next session. Bhave bhave yata bhaktihi padayostava jayade tada kurusha devesha natastvam no yata prabho nama sankirtanam yasya sarva papa pranasanam pranamo dukkha samanaha tam namami harim param. Narayana Akila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Hari Om.
Gopika Jivana Smaranam Govinda Govinda. Chanting of the 12th Dasakam of Narayaneeyam. Swayam Bhuvo Manuratho Janasargashilo Drishtva Mahima Samaye Salile Nimagnam Srashtaramapa Sharanam Bhavadhangri Seva Stushashayam Muni Janai Sahasatyaloke Kashtam Praja Srajati Mayava Nirmi Magnas Sthanam Saroja Bhava Kalpayatat Prajanam Ityevameva Katitho Manuna Swayam Buhu Amboruhakshatava Padayugam Vyachintet हा हा विभो जलमहं न्यपिबं पुरस्तात् अद्यापि मज्जति मही किमिहं करोमि इत्थं त्वदङ्घ्रियुगलं शरणं यतोऽस्य नासापुटात् समभवः शिशुकोलरूपीम् अङ्गुष्टमात्रवपुरुत्पतितः पुरस्तात् भूयोऽथ कुम्भिसदृश समजृम्भतास्त्वम् अभ्रे तथाविदमुदीक्ष्य भवन्तमुच्चैः विस्मेरता विधिरघात् सहसूनुभिस्वैः कोसावचिन्त्य महिमां किटिरुत्थितो मे नासापुटात् किमु भवेदचितस्य माया इत्थं विचिन्तयति दातरि शैलमात्रः सद्यो भवन् किल जगज्जितघोरघोरम् तं ते निनादमुपकर्ण्य जनस्तपस्ताः सत्यस्थिताश्च मुनयोर्नुनुरुर्भवन्तं तत्स्तोत्रहर्षलमना मरिणध्यभूयः तोयाशयं विपुलमूर्तिरवातरस्त्वम् ऊर्ध्वं प्रसारि परिधूम्रविधूतरोमा प्रोक्षिप्तवालधिरवाङ्मुखघोरगोणः तूर्णप्रधीर्णजलधः परिगूर्णदक्ष्णां स्तोतॄन्मुनीन् शिशिरयन्नवतेरिथत्वम् अन्तर्जलं तदनुसङ्कुलनक्रचक्रं भ्राम्यत्तिमिङ्गिलकुलं कलुषोर्मिमालम् आविश्य भीषणरवेण रसातलस्तात् आकम्पयन् वसुमतीं अगवेशयस्त्वं दृष्ट्वाथ दैत्यहतकेन रसातला ते संवेशितां झटति कूटकिटिर्विभो त्वम् आपातुकानविगणय्य सुरारिकेटान् द्रंष्ट्राकुरेण वसुधाम् अदधाः सलीलम् अभ्युद्धरन्नथ धरां दशनाघ्रलग्नमुस्ताङ्कुराङ्कित इव दिक्पीवरात्माम् उद्धूतघोरसलिलाज्जलधेरुदञ्चन् क्रीडावराहवपुरीश्वर पाहि रोगात्। श्री हरे नमः। गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द। राधे कृष्ण।
या देवी